live. I don't know how many lives we've done. One or two lives. This is the first coffee hour,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah,
I'm
I guess. I mean,
yeah,
this is the second live we do together, but the first one wasn't really live because it didn't work. So,
yeah, yeah. That's right. We did this week in wireless last week, and we tried to do that live, and I messed up, and it didn't go live, but we recorded it. So then we just posted it online. Thank you guys for joining. My name is Roel Dionisio, one of your co-hosts, and alongside here is Francois, our other co-host. How are you doing, Francois?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm doing well. We were talking earlier, and my allergies were acting up, so I'm hoping they don't act up again. Because I remember in This Week in Wireless, the last one we did, my eye was super red. So I don't know. It might return.
Yeah, and people were feeling bad for you. They're
Yeah.
like commenting, Roel, are you okay?
Yeah. Is your eye okay? And for those of you who are joining us, let us know where you are coming from and how you guys are doing. Hopefully you guys got your cup of coffee, because we are going to talk about a lot of different things here. And our agenda is going to be talking about some of the updates that we have for Clear Descent. We're going to talk about 6 gigahertz and the updates that came out there. Some updates from NetAlly, which I thought were exciting. Hopefully you guys are also following Celona, where they are putting out a lot of good videos that Andrew Vanage has done. And then we're gonna do a demo of remote spectrum analysis. So welcome, Chris. Thank you for joining us from New Hampshire. All right, welcome. And Dan from Victoria, British Columbia, right? That's correct.
Yeah, yeah. So I didn't show you my coffee mug.
Yeah, what are you drinking there?
It's well, I'll tell you what's inside, but
Yeah?
it's my French,
Yeah, that's
cup.
very French. Okay, all right.
Yeah, that's the soccer team, of course. But I just have coffee. This is the coffee that my wife got at Costco to Sumatra. It's pretty nice from
Okay.
Indonesia. It's very oily, so when you grind it, it's you have residue all over the grinder, but it's really good. I like it.
All right, cool. And I have just one of my go-to mugs is just this plain minimalistic Starbucks mug, which I am not drinking Starbucks coffee in.
You're not being 100% corporate.
No. I went with I don't even know what it's called. It's just Keurig coffee. I was gonna go and brew some coffee, but I got really lazy, and my daughter wanted me to sit with her and watch some cartoons before I came down here. So I was like, oh, I'll just watch some cartoons. So we were watching Mickey Mouse, and I had to mimic all the different voices because the audio was so low. So that's what I was doing before coming here live.
You have some exciting mornings.
It's exciting now that we are in this shelter in place slash quarantine slash I don't know what you want to call it, but it allows us to go live here, which is really great, right?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right, we got also Charlie from Mexico, Martin from Sweden, Alex, thank you for joining us from Montreal, not too far from Francois.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we have Germans.
Gurman on too. Welcome, Gurman. Thanks for joining us. So, as we go into this, we'll share our screens. We got a couple of things to show. The first update that we're going to talk about here is we updated the website. So
Woohoo.
here it is.
Can you bring the clap?
Yeah, we updated the website.
This,
It took us less than, I don't know, 3 hours, right? And then, by the way, it's Monday, so I have dumpster trucks. Today they came late, so if you guys can hear them, I'll let you talk, Francois.
yeah, so we updated the website. It was quite a process. I actually tried it to do it myself, and then I messaged Roy. I was like, "You need to help me with this." And then he came along, and he did most of the work, and we had like a pre-staging website to fix all the small details. And so now we have brand new refresh website. At the top we have a banner when you can join the community. So we have a Slack groups. If you guys want to join us, you can click on join us, and then we have display latest episode. I guess we'll show you the player after. I'll do a little bit of teasing here. And then after that, we have a section to showcase our featured episode, which is the 3 latest episodes we've published. Yeah, you can see it like this. Today, you'll see that we published an episode today talking about 6 gigahertz. So we had Chris from Broadcom. He talked about the process of, releasing 6 gigahertz in the US. He talks about the FCC, also about, how it works in other countries, like or in other part of the world, like Europe. So this is, if you guys want to take a listen at it, it's nice. We learned a lot of, behind the scene stuff in this episode. And then we have a new section, I guess, where we try to categorize the episode per different topics. So we have a Wi-Fi 6 series. We have SMB, I guess, that we started. We also have a 6 gigahertz category, because next week we have another 6 gigahertz episode coming up where we interviewed Chuck from HPE. So we can have a 6 gigahertz, and maybe down the road we'll create some new categories here. And then if you scroll down, we have, this is just a form to get the newsletter, and then after that you can see the latest episodes, and it has like some sort of infinite scroll, so you can scroll until the very big. I don't know if you can go up until episode number 1. I didn't test it, but I guess you guys can test it and let us know. So it's really nice. We still have some tweaking to do, so you'll see like some of the pictures, are not there, but we try to fix the most part of it. And then if you click on one episode, I guess, Royal, you can click on like this week's episode, maybe. Yeah. Then you have this nice view. You can play the episode right there from the banner. And if you click play, you have a play at the bottom, which is pretty nice. I know Guillermont listens to our episodes from the website, so now you have a nice player when you listen to the episodes. And then we have the show notes, and then something new for the show notes, we have this more button. So it kind of hides, it gives you a preview, and then if you want to see more, you click on more, and then you have, I think if you scroll down, just like Netflix that, gives you recommended movies, depending on the one you watch, I think we have that, like you have related shows that gives you, depending on the category and the episodes you're looking at.
Very nice.
Still have the dumpster truck?
Yeah, they kind of pass by. It's fine. It is what it is. We're going live. So so some of the things we're going to update here are the resources page. We kind of just made it so that the links show up, so you can hear them, right? Yeah, we should. So I record in my garage, so that's why it's so loud. But it's an alleyway back there, so he's reversing. So he won't come back, or he'll readjust.
We should make it a running joke.
Yeah, it should be a running joke.
You should record the sound of the garbage truck and then replay it when we do lives.
I gotta go, guys. Garbage. Forgot to put the garbage out. But Andre, thanks for thank you for the comment there. And we're gonna work on the resources here, so it's a little bit easier to identify what the resources are. But for now, they are links with a short description. If you want to see all the episodes, you can click on archive, and so it shows everything on the podcast here. And then if you guys have any questions that you want us to answer on the show, we do have this nice Ask a Question button that some people use. A lot of people like to just type in their questions, which you can do. But if you want to be featured on the recording, you could actually click on Start Recording, and it'll use your microphone to record a message, which gets sent to us as an MP3 file, which we can play on as we're recording the podcast. So I think that's pretty neat. And if there's anything that you want to look for specifically, you can just click on the search button. And this is one of the tweaks that we need to figure out, because it's a white on white. But if I type in 802.11ax, which I can't see, but it's there, there's our AX related episodes.
If you go to the homepage and you do a search, I think it's not white. Try that out. It's still white.
It's still white for me. Yeah. So that's some of the things that we need to tweak out there. So if you guys have any questions, let us know. Join the community if you haven't already on Slack. And if you like the website, you think it's a lot more functional for you, hit the like button and let us know.
Do you wanna display Germont comment?
So Germond, there, let me show that.
He's saying 1 year ago I decided to learn 802.11ax and I used your series, to learn to get some more knowledge. And now we all know Germont is the the reference when it comes to AX.
He created an awesome calculator. I don't know how long it took you, Germont, to create that, but that's that you did a phenomenal job on that. And I saw that presentation at WPC Prague. Francois, you were there too, and it was everyone really enjoyed it. It was great.
Germont, why don't you send your website in the comments so everyone can see it?
Yeah, and then I'll also put it up on my screen. But yeah, that's our new website. We did that on Friday, and Friday night. That was our Friday night. I was having wine. I don't know what you're drinking, Francois.
I was getting some. I was having some herbal tea. Yeah, if I drink too much alcohol, I get tired really fast.
Yeah. Plus, it was really late for you. It was maybe 9 p.m. my time, midnight for you.
Yeah. All right. So what's next on the agenda?
All right. So we've got.
Did you mention the lab we wanted to do? Did you?
Yeah. I don't know if I mentioned that to you guys. We're gonna do a live demo at the end here, and we'll try to bring in. So it's a live demo using remote spectrum analysis. We're gonna use Wi-Fi Explorer, and we're also gonna try to bring in Adrian Granados, the creator of Wi-Fi Explorer, into our conversation here as we try to go through this.
Awesome. So stick around until the end.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So the next up is obviously 6 gigahertz, right? So what do you think, guys, on the chat? What are your opinions on 6 gigahertz? Are we going to see 160 megahertz channels by default right away? Is that going to be the deal?
Not sure. I think, as Wi-Fi engineer, I think at the beginning we'll be holding back a little bit, trying to see how it works, right? You want to see it work before you start playing with it. But I mean, if we get that much spectrum, especially in the US, they're talking about getting 1200 megahertz of spectrum, which is quite something. It's like double what we have in 5 gig, even more than double what we have in 5 gig. So it's, if we have that much spectrum, like why not take advantage of 80 megahertz wide channels? And plus, when we, 6 gigahertz is going to bring this, the power spectrum density, which will pretty much, I guess you can listen to next week's episode and you learn more about that. But pretty much what the power spectrum density does and the way they define the regulations in terms of power for the 6 gigahertz frequency band, it pretty much allows us to not have this noise increase as you go wider in your channels, right? So we used to have, every time you double your channel, then the noise increases 3 dB, which reduces your SNR. Now with the 6 gigahertz and the way they're going to handle the power and the regulations in the maximum transmit power you can use, they do it with this power per megahertz, right? As a result, we're not going to be taxed on the SNR when we go wider channels. So this should help, and the fact of having plenty of spectrum, this should help as well. So maybe the default would be 160. Who knows?
Yeah, I would imagine default being 160 because that's what the vendors like to do. But with this vote, hopefully we'll see some access points, maybe by the end of the year, maybe early next year. I guess it depends on with this quarantine, how it delays a lot of companies. But then clients, I believe, will be next year. We could see it sooner because of Broadcom releasing their chips, but who knows, right? It's kind of hard to tell at this point.
I think we have to wait for the clients to see what they support as well. Will the client support 160, all the time? Because we know it's not that case right now with AC or AX. It doesn't support at 160 all the time by default. So we'll see what the client starts to support on 6 gigahertz and see if we can leverage that, to use wider channels.
And what do you think about the types of access points that are going to come out. Do you think we'll see 6 gigahertz only access points, or do you think we'll have tri-band access points? What are your thoughts?
I think the tri-band access point makes sense because you still want the AP to be able to provide access to legacy client devices, right? But I think we're going to see I'm hoping to see some innovation on the AP side of things, the hardware, because, talking to Chris on this week's episode, to check on next week's episode, we realized that, we're not going to be able to have APs with external antennas, right? So if we want to have some more control over the RF, the directional antennas will have to be embedded into the AP. So I'm curious how the vendors will, what type of solutions the vendors will come up with, and if it's going to spike innovation.
Yeah, for sure. And also Anders makes a comment about 802.11be, and we'll have to see a lot of infrastructure change as well, right? Everyone will have to upgrade their switches to accommodate this kind of throughput and traffic. But if we look at WLAN Pros, because Keith put out a really good multiple charts about the channel allocations, just to give you guys a glimpse of what exactly are we talking about here that the FCC approved. And I don't know if I could show this. And here you go.
Yeah, you can download it.
Yeah, so here's the website up here if you guys want to see that. And I think the biggest thing here is here we are at 2.4 gigahertz and then 5 gigahertz, and then we have all this expansion here with 6 gigahertz, right, going out beyond. So it'll be interesting to see when these access points and devices come out. After we iron out all the bugs with the hardware, I know that's going to happen for sure. Things should be better.
Yeah, and I think we should mention as well that 1200 megahertz is only for the US for now.
Yeah.
Right. So we're looking at the FCC. In Europe, it's not going to be that much, right? If you scroll down, you can see the details about the different unibands that are part of the 6 gigahertz frequency band. And you'll see, if you keep going down. Yeah, perfect. So here you can see that in Europe, it's only going to be Uni 5, right? So Uni 5 is the one you see in blue, which will be, maybe half of it. I don't know exactly how wide that is, but I think it's close to 600 megahertz of new spectrum available, right? So it's still pretty good, right? It's still pretty good. They're going to have different rules. As you can see, we have different sections here, and Keith outlined it with standard power AP, low power indoor. So they're going to have different regulations depending on the different bands. Low power indoor, I think that's what we're going to be using for most of our enterprise deployment, which is pretty much allowing you to use Wi-Fi 6E, so 6 gigahertz for indoor deployments. And the limitation that you have is the power. But if you look at the power limitation, it still gives you enough to handle our typical enterprise deployment.
We should still be able to use it. In our next episode, should we say who we have on our next episode? Because I think it's going to be a really...
I said it earlier, but you can say it again.
It's going to be Chuck from Aruba, Chuck Lukaszewski. I'm pretty sure. Lukaszewski. And we are specifically talking about low power and AFC, I think. More so on the low power, just to talk specifically about 6 gigahertz in regards to that topic, because that's what's really different for us when it comes to deploying, and we'll see some restrictions put in place, and we talk about how is that actually going to work when you start deploying, right? Because the software is going to have to change, the APs are going to have to change in order to accommodate all that. Yeah,
and if you go all the way down, you have a button to download the graphics. Yeah.
So download it right here, guys, and you'll be able to get that.
I like your clicker.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah, it looks like I
feel like a teacher.
In the Disney movies, when you have the
Oh, like the fireworks?
yeah.
All right, so people in the chat, what do you guys think about 6 gigahertz? Are you looking to see what's going to happen? Are you going to be one of the first ones to get that infrastructure? Because I'm sure there's going to be people right now in the middle of the cycle who are thinking, all right, I'm going to upgrade to Wi-Fi 6 APs, and then comes the announcement of 6 gigahertz. Now you wonder, should I wait for those 6 gigahertz capable APs or just go ahead and do Wi-Fi 6?
I think it's going to be a little while before we start to see hardware, right? So Broadcom already has some chipsets, but we don't have any AP manufacturers that have AP yet, right? When we were talking to Chuck, he was saying maybe the end of the year, right? So I mean, for you and I'm not expecting to get any like before next year.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's a 2020 question. I think it's more a 2021 question.
Yeah, for sure.
What do you think?
I think, we won't really see anything. I don't believe we'll see anything happen this year. We'll have to wait for the clients. All those devices have to go through FCC to get certified to be able to use 6 gigahertz. And who knows, with the power restrictions, AFC is not even in play yet. That still needs to be ironed out. So there's still a lot that needs to happen, even though FCC has voted to use 6 gigahertz for unlicensed.
What I'm hoping for is I'm hoping that the chipsets will be ready. Not like what we saw with AX, where some of the very early AX APs has some chipset, and then they are already discontinued today as we speak, because the chipsets were not fully ready, and I guess they were not upgradable to the full feature set. So I'm hoping that, I mean, for 6 gigahertz, they had time to play with it, right? Yeah. And they had to showcase to the FCC chairman that it's actually working. So hopefully, I'm hoping for that the chipsets are, ready.
Yeah, for sure. Most part. Okay, so let's move on to NetAlly, because if you guys didn't know, Air Magnet is back, right? So they had a webinar. What? I sat into that webinar, and it's on YouTube. So you'll be able to see that presentation if you just go on YouTube and search Air Magnet is back, what is new. And I think it has a lot of potential to really be a choice for surveys. And particularly, I'm more interested in one link live integration, and also using one of those handheld tools, right, to do those surveys.
airmagnet.netally.com.
Yeah, so Survey Pro, and in the webinar, they go through the application and what it does. It looks very similar to the Air Magnet that we used to know from back in the days, but they added some support for Wi-Fi 6 detection networks. They added support so you can actually use a Wi-Fi 6 NIC to do some sort of Wi-Fi 6 active survey. And also they added, a list of a whole bunch of APs, brand new APs for the antenna pattern. So you can use that in your patterns.
Yeah, they can hear.
I can hear.
So let's watch this whole webinar together. I'm just kidding.
Who's up for it?
But they did show that they can support some of the passive surveys for Wi-Fi 6. It uses a built-in NIC of your computer. You can use Etherscope to the handheld tool in order to do the surveys with AirMapper, and then in the near future, that's going to come to the AirCheck G2. Although I'm a little bit confused about which product they're going to push, if it's going to be Etherscope moving forward, or what's going to happen with AirCheck G2.
Yeah, I mean the AirMapper on Etherscope is very nice, so you can pretty much do your survey with directly from the handheld device. It's like, and then when you're done your survey, you're supposed to be able to upload your project to Link Live, and then you can do the analysis in Ekahau Pro. I was saying Ekahau because I think in in AirMagnetic Pro, or you could do some sort of analysis in the Link Live as well. So I was thinking Ekahau because I think it's similar to like how you would use the iPad with the Sidekick, except that here everything is in one handheld device. The detail that you didn't know is how many radios they have in that device, right? To do the scanning, it's just one. And then it's similar to, if you guys are familiar with Ekahau, it's similar to the way the stop and go work from the Air Mapper standpoint. So you go to a location and you click, you wait. It's going to do a scan, and you can move to the next location and gather your data that way. So I don't know about the AirCheck G2. That would be nice if they can also put that in there. I don't know if they have some sort of hardware or software limitation there.
Yeah, you can see when you look at Air Mapper, they're using the Etherscope NXG, and it already supports it, I believe, so you can just do the download and update. But you can see you don't need a laptop, a dongle, or this tethered device. Looks oddly familiar to a lot of you guys, right? And you should be able to just hold that Etherscope or AirCheck and be able to walk around with this. And when I looked at the demo, it looked like more of a stop and go. So you had to tap, you had to wait. And I think the continuous portion is going to come in the future. They did comment about that. So hopefully that does make it into an update coming soon.
You know what I really liked as well is the Link Live. So they can actually, if you go back to the webinar, and if you go to 49, you can actually upload your measurements directly within the application to Link Live, and then in Link Live you have the ability to look at your signal strength. You can filter per SSID. If you go a little bit further in the webinar, you'll be able to see it.
Yeah, and Chris Reed makes a good comment about the AirCheck G2, that the update coming there, rather instead of just coming out with maybe an AirCheck G3. Who knows? Maybe that's going to be in their pipeline. I bet you they come out with new hardware, especially with Wi-Fi 6 and 6 gigahertz. So that's probably already on their roadmap.
One thing I wish they had updated was the heat map engine. Like it looks like it's straight back from the 2000s.
It's perfect circles, right? Is that what it's?
Yeah, even if you go back to to the webinar, the view you have here, it looks like they use the exact same as what the application used to be 10 years ago. So
but they have some improvements to do, and as far as I know, it's still the application AirMagnet is still Windows based, but if they can move more towards Link Live, then it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
Right. And then there's Air Mapper.
Also something something I really liked is when they mentioned the on demand. I forgot the name of it.
The demo.
I put a note for it. Yeah, a survey on demand. So they have this licensing model where you can purchase a short-term license on demand. So if you only have one project, one survey to do, you can get that license, and you renting the software in a sense.
Yeah.
So I think it's nice to bring flexibility to the licensing of those tools as well, and maybe would be nice if other follows. Yeah, I know IBWave they have similar licensing capabilities where you can get it for a couple of months, right?
Yeah, and actually IBWave did a couple of updates as well. They have a newer version of their product, which it's on par with here. And they've been doing the cloud service for a while, and you could use a mobile device to do your survey. So it'll be nice to compare all of the solutions now that they're closer to feature sets, right? And so we could look at, what I really want to do is look at the accuracy and see what the difference is. If I did a survey for a building or a floor, what would each of those show me? Would it be similar? Would it be drastically different? And I know IBWave does calculations for reflections and a lot of other things that we don't consider with like Ekahau.
Yeah. Anyway, I think it's a nice comeback. Excited to see what they're going to come up with, especially on the innovation side of things. Because remember when they introduced the company, they said NetAlly is now independent, and we're going to be able to bring innovation to the table. So I mean, we're starting to see it with Link Live. Hopefully they bring more to Link Live so you can actually do all of your analysis and reporting from Link Live. I think on the report side of things, Julio didn't show a lot of the reporting in the webinar, but I think it might be a little limited for, what we want to do, or if you want to compare to like custom report templating in Ekahau, for instance. But I mean, if you can do all your analysis and you report from Link Live, that would be very, very nice.
All right, so let's move on to Celona and CBRS. For those of you who went to WLPC, they did a deep dive on CBRS, and they had something working there in the conference center. Well, they brought that whole recording on their YouTube channel, and it's a good series. I've started watching it. It's really good information, a lot of engaged people. So there's a lot of questions that have been asked during this recording. And so some of the questions that I had in my mind were already being asked, which is great because you have it here in video. And then they go through, as you can see here on the right side, Andrew's field journal, all of the recordings. And I'm only about 3 videos in, as you can tell, but it's really good to watch. And so if you just go on YouTube and do a search for CBRS timeline and organizational bodies, or whatever video you want to look at, right? Or go to Celona's YouTube page, you should be able to see those videos.
Yeah, they have, if you go back to Team Celona, to the YouTube page, they have a playlist. That's called Andrew's Field Journal. It's right there.
Welcome, everybody. My name is Andrew Vanage, and
I'm trying to
Yeah. That's what happens when you do live. Yeah. It's nice that they were able to record those sessions, and then they usually the deep dives are the only sessions that are not recorded at the Real PC. So it's nice that Celona was able to do that.
Yeah. So why don't we try to bring in now Adrian Granados? Let me try to add him.
Sure.
Let's see how this works. We haven't done this before, so we're going to add a third person. Calling him now. All right. So what we're going to do on this next part, it's calling.
Does it work?
It's trying to add him. It says calling. So we're going to try to do a live demo. We'll see how this actually works, right? So
you want to do a live demo during a live stream?
Of course.
That's a lot of live. Oh, Adrian's here.
Hey, guys.
Hey, how are you? Yeah.
Hey, good.
Thanks for joining us.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Andrew's there on the chat too. Hey, Andrew, thanks for stopping by. If you want to add anything, Andrew, about about that deep dive and what people should be prepared for when they start watching it, let them know in the chat. So what we're going to do here, Adrian, thanks for joining us. We were just chatting on Twitter right before we went live because we had mentioned we're going to do a live demo of remote spectrum analysis. So from my home here in San Jose, I'm going to open up an application, and Francois, who lives in Canada near Toronto in London, Ontario, he's going to have his spectrum analyzer, which is just a WLAN Pi, and we're going to see if this will work, right? And so I am connected via VPN to his home, and it's a split tunnel, so it's only allowing this specific subnet to go to his spectrum analyzer.
So do you want me to show what's going on my end?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and do that.
Okay, so...
And Adrian, if you want to make any comments, Adrian's just here to make sure we do this right.
No, actually, I was checking the other day that software that allows you to do that, and by coincidence, another user contacted me about some questions he had on a similar software. So I understand that the one you guys are using is not going to support eventually Catalina.
Yeah, we ran into some issues testing.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to contact these other guys and see if they are planning to support Catalina, because it's the same concept. You do the USB over Ethernet um, thing. But yeah, I mean, I want to see it live.
Okay, I don't know what happened
All right,
with
so
my.
you're
Can you
sharing
see
your
my screen?
Let's see here. I think you need to minimize your Skype window.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to do that, but it doesn't work. So,
Fail.
yeah, my whole computer is. So,
Should I share my screen then?
yeah.
How about you show
Right.
everyone what you have on your end, the piece of hardware that you have there.
Looks like this. Can you see that?
There it is. So that's a WLAN Pi, and what's that connected to the end there? The Wi-Fi DBX, which is going to be a 2.4 gigahertz only.
Yeah. It also worked with the DBX, dual band, but here we're just going to use this one for now.
Okay.
And then it's connected to the network. As you can see, I have, it connected via the Ethernet cable back to the network. So that's how you're able to connect to it.
So I'm going to show my screen then. And I don't know why Adrian his video just kind of dropped off, but it's fine. So I have
here.
terminal. He's still there. He's just no video. So Francois, I'm going to show that I can get out to the internet. It is a split tunnel. So you can see like there's Sunnyvale, San Jose. What's the IP address of your device there?
It's a 192.168.20.28.
So I can definitely ping it because I've got a Fortinet client running. You can see here I got a VPN connection going. And if we do a trace route, it's going through this is just going through the tunnel. And so we have this application here called Virtual Here Client, I guess. And it allows, maybe Francois, you describe it, because I just installed this today because you told me to.
Yeah,
this is how it's gonna work.
on the you just install whatever I tell you to install.
Yeah, and so he has total control of my computer.
I'll send you a script to launch later. Yeah, so pretty much what happened, what I wanted to show you on the WLAN Pi, you install a server that will start up a server, that will listen on a specific port. And I think it's using Bonjour in the background, but that allows you to pretty much discover any USB connections you have made to the WLAN Pi. So since I connected the WLAN Pi, the Wi-Fi 2.4 to my WLAN Pi, then through the network, you'll be able to discover the device using this virtual here client application, and then you can connect to it. So if you select it in the application and you right click, you can actually use it. I think that's the verbiage they use. Yeah, use this device, and then it will be just as if you connected this device to your computer via USB. So it's establishing like a connection over a USB connection over the network. So now if you open let's say a Wi-Fi Explorer Pro, you should be able to see data coming from the spectrum inside your Wi-Fi Explorer.
I opened the wrong application. Hold on.
So, Adrian, do you want to talk about Wi-Fi Explorer Pro and the spectrum feature of it?
Yeah, so the tool integrates the MetaGeek spectrum analyzer, and it gives you it overlaps the spectrum data over the Wi-Fi chart, so you can kind of see what's going on and have an overall picture of the Wi-Fi and non-Wi-Fi devices nearby.
Yes. Okay, so here that's going to be weird though, because you're going to see the Wi-Fi information from your house, Roel, and you're going to see spectrum from my house. So that's not going to match. But I believe you can use the WLAN Pi as a sensor, right?
Yes. So
So I mean, I don't know if you could use both at the same time. You want to try, Roel?
Yeah. So how do
you should be able to? Yeah.
So let's see if you can see my networks. So you have to go to active. You see the active drop-down menu?
Yeah, there it is.
And then here, go to,
Let's see if
manage
it's
remote
here.
sensors.
So now I
Try
gotta
to-
add it.
Yeah, 192, 168, 20.28. Select it. Let's see if that works.
Cannot connect to it, although it's
No, that's just the Spectrum data.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe I cannot have both applications running on the WNPy. I don't know. Anyway, you have the Spectrum, which is nice.
Yeah.
So now, I don't know if you can see what's going on my end, but
Let me see. Let me just try to share your screen.
you can share your screen. I'm
Okay.
just going to generate some activity.
All right. So yeah, you're gonna try to create some sort of interference on your end, right?
Yeah, can you still see the data coming in?
It looks like it stopped. Hold on a sec.
You have to start it, no? Yeah.
I think because it's wanting to
Oh yeah,
use
go
the
back to
remote
active.
sensor. All right. So right now
Okay.
yours is only 2.4 gigahertz, so there's nothing displaying on the 5. This is actually all data coming from your DBX Wi-Fi Wi-Fi DBX.
Yeah. I don't think. No, this one is called Wi-Fi 2.4.
2.4.
DBX is the dual band one. Yeah. Okay, so let me see if I can. I have this little tool here. I can generate some traffic. So let's see what happens.
Let's do it.
2.4. Let's do it.
Let's see how quickly it shows up. And so the networks you see here, these are my networks, and something just popped up here because I got this live view showing, but this looks like something coming from your end.
Yeah, I wonder what that could be. Let me change
This is when
something else.
This is when you ask somebody to, hey, can you take that WLANPy and
Yeah.
and you could see it here. Something popped up for just a little bit, but that's kind of neat, right?
Let me. I'm trying to do something. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Now it's going.
Do it live.
And I'm doing this. I'm connecting on 5 gigs, so I'm not going to drop out. But yeah, you should see some stuff happening around channel 1.
There's something happening.
Yeah. You can see it in the waterfall menu as well.
Yeah, there it is. It's looks like it's hopping.
And then I have this little camera I'm going to plug and see what happens.
There you go. We got some in the waterfall. So Francois plugging in a camera, right? You said camera.
Yeah, and I have both running at the same time. I'm going to stop the first one.
Yeah,
I'll stop the first one, so now you should see the camera.
Okay, so I see it changing there.
Yeah. Yeah, I see at the bottom, you can see the different towers coming from the camera.
Yeah.
The 3 peaks, yeah.
There's the big peak right there.
So that's pretty cool. So I'm doing this at home, and you're seeing that on your end.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. Do you want to try 5 gigahertz?
Sure.
Okay,
We do have
so
one question that somebody's putting in for Adrian. From Jeremy, what is the feasibility of logging / displaying data from remote probes on a web dashboard? Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's something that it can be done, but I would do that from the Pi itself, not using Wi-Fi Explorer, just having some process running on the Pi that you can start and stop, and then it will start logging the spectrum and Wi-Fi data to a database, or forwarding that to another place, and then you can display it on the web. But yeah, I wouldn't do that in Wi-Fi Explorer Pro. So
It sounds like they want you to do more work.
yeah, they're always looking to giving me more work. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, you should be able to. Maybe it's the VPN or something, or the way the adapters are connected to the Pi. But I'm pretty sure you should be able to to use the remote sensor part, so you can see the Wi-Fi remotely, and also the spectrum analyzer on using that USB over Ethernet solution. Yeah.
All right, so I connected the DBX now. So Roel, if you want to go back and select 5 gigahertz, we'll see what happens.
Sure.
And
What happened was
I'm
when you disconnected it, it actually crashed my Wi-Fi Explorer.
Really?
Yeah.
Sorry.
It said it's no longer there.
It's more work for Adrian.
Yeah, I guess.
So if I share my screen now, you'll see that right here, it changed to DBX3. All right.
And I think
I've connected it. And so now we can see on the 2.4 gigahertz side, it's starting to show up. So I have it set to full 2.4. I can select the 5. So there it goes, it's populating.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so then you can see which channel I'm using here, right?
Yeah, so you're using channel 149?
Yeah.
Switch it to dual band, and it actually works pretty quickly over this VPN.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, nice work, Adrian, with this.
Well, I mean, that would be the guys who developed the USB over Ethernet. So because I see it's pretty fast. I don't see any delays or anything on showing information.
Yeah, so if you have Wi-Fi Explorer Pro, obviously you can use this if it's connected directly, but if somebody is remote and you can send them a WLAN Pi and have them connect the Wi-Spy and be able to view the spectrum remotely. So I think that's a really great feature for people who are looking for something simple to use, right?
Right, yeah. And I also think that USB software, it's available for Windows, so they also should be able to use MetaGeek tools to do this same thing where you connect a DVX on the Pi, and then you get, I don't know, a channelizer on Windows, and you should be able to see the spectrum, there too.
Yeah, and you know what? It works. It should work for any USB devices, right?
Yeah.
So
right.
Yeah. So we actually tried with Roel. We tried to connect the Psychic and see if we could use it in Ekahau.
We weren't very successful there.
Yeah, so we were able to use the DBX in Ekahau, but the Psychic is not. It's recognized by the USB, the Ethernet over USB application, but it's not recognized by Ekahau when you launch Ekahau. So not too sure why that's the case.
Yeah, we only had about 10 minutes to try to figure that out before going live.
Yeah, so I wonder what would be the problem, because in theory it's transparent to the applications. It's just mirroring the USB on the other side locally. So yeah, I wonder what will be the problem.
On the website, they do say that their application is not supported on Catalina, so maybe that's.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see. So, Adrian, before we let you go, do you want to, talk about one feature that people don't really know about Wi-Fi Explorer, but that's in the software? I know you guys have, you put a lot of different features in the software. Do you want to highlight one of them?
I guess the remote sensor. There are multiple ways to get information into Wi-Fi Explorer. So you get the remote sensor, you can also put some access points on sniffing mode or monitor mode and start a listener on Wi-Fi Explorer Pro to receive the Wi-Fi data, the packets, and then display them on the tool. So I guess that's something I added recently. So I know many people don't know about it.
Okay, and can you use any AP vendors, or is it like for specific AP vendors?
Well, I have tried Cisco, Aruba, and Microtech access points, but it's pretty much the big remote protocol. So if the access point supports that protocol, then it should work. And then for the other one, the Microtech, I think it's called DZSP, but at least for these two major vendors, it works. So I'm assuming other major vendors should have some availability for those options.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Yeah, if you guys like this product, hit that like button, because I use Wi-Fi Explorer almost on a daily basis, and it's been one of my go-to tools to troubleshoot. That's what I use in the beginning to troubleshoot, and there's so many other features that we can talk about, because you've integrated things like just taking a screenshot from the output here and just putting it to the desktop just by dragging. Like that's been useful too, to just show and share with people.
Yeah, and due to the lockdown, I've been doing a lot of work and new features. So hopefully I get a new version in the summer. And one of the cool things I've done is being able to create a column from any field on the information elements. So with that, meaning that you can I run some numbers, and in theory, you have available now around 550 columns that you should be able to add to the table. But that should be available in the next major release of the tool.
So saying you're capturing some AX traffic, you should dynamically be able to filter per, let's say, resource unit size and stuff like that?
Yeah, filtering is something I'm gonna add, but right now you can only you can add the column to show in the table like the values for that field. But filtering is something it will be there definitely. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be pretty nice, because they had somebody, they wanted me to add a column for the MAC address of that the access point advertises in a proprietary field. So with this, now they just go ahead and add it. I don't have to do anything on my side to do that. So
that's awesome. All right, Adrian. So thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, that was super random from us.
Accepted. We just decided very last minute to add Adrian in, and I thought that was really cool for us to do. Thanks so much, Adrian.
I had to do some improvisation here, but that's great, guys. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Adrian. Have a good day.
Right. You too. Bye.
I mean, that is pretty much our show there. Well, I'm showing you like 3 times. There you go. That's pretty much what we wanted to talk about going live with this coffee hour. We actually finished right before the hour. So if you guys have any questions you guys want to talk about, or anything else you guys want to discuss, let us know in the comments in the chat there. And then subscribe to our channel if you want us to do more of these, as we have nothing else to do in quarantine. Actually, we have things to do. It's just maybe we can do more live streams and videos to get more people involved and to showcase some of these tools that we use, how we do Wi-Fi, troubleshoot Wi-Fi. I think there's a lot to share. And Dan, thanks for the comment there. Really appreciate everyone joining in, spending an hour of their time with us as we try to figure out this live stream. We did a live demo successfully. I thought that went very well.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. And Guillermo is asking, when is 2.4 dead? I guess the subject of the next live.
Yeah, thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Defunky Child. That's a great name.
All right, guys. Have a good day.
Have a good one. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.